I think I backed out of it. No, we're live. Oh my God. Welcome to the first ever Cohn and Krueger. We're new to this. This is Larry Krueger. I'm Grant Cohn. We were both at practice today, the last 9 days. We haven't streamed together in a couple of weeks because we've both been working so hard, but we both have a little time now. And I would love to, I haven't really heard what Larry thinks. So I think let's start with Ricky Pearsall. He was the guy of the day. They made a point to give him the ball a ton of times in a lot of different ways. What did you think of Ricky Pearsall's sort of like big day? And how do you think they're planning to use him this year?
Well, I mean, he seems like he's going to be a big part of what they do. I mean, he made a number of different catches. You know, he's catching the ball behind him. He's catching the ball on the sideline, the middle of the field. You know, he seems like he's going to be. I mean, let's just say this. I mean, if without Debo and with Ayuk gone until maybe November, they're not going to be very good if Ricky Pearsall isn't good. And he has actually been pretty good. The question is, can he stack days? Can he keep it going? Can he stay on the field? Can he stay healthy? If he can, I think we're seeing him blossom before our eyes.
Yeah. Also, don't forget about Jauan Jennings. I don't know what's going on with him. Either he's really upset and holding out, or this calf injury is serious, because he's not like rehabbing on the side field. He's not jogging around. He doesn't seem to be out there. So I don't really know what's going on with him. I think it just puts more importance on Ricky Pearsall. And the way I saw them use him today, he's going to be playing Z. He's going to be in motion a lot. I don't think he's going to play X. I think that's where Demarcus Robinson's going to be, or Jennings if he ever comes back. But I think from the Z spot, I feel like he's going to be running a lot of the routes that Brandon Ayuk ran, like deeper down the field, the 10, 15, 20-yard range. And I think he's going to be really explosive.
He's got great hands. Now, the only thing about, he doesn't have the same catch radius, you know, because he doesn't have the kind of leaping ability, doesn't have the long arms. So it's going to be, Brock's accuracy is going to be more important with Pearsall. But yeah, I think, you know, there's reason to believe that Pearsall could have a really good year. And as far as JJ is concerned, you know, they may have just kind of put one over on the media. I mean, it's like, is he going to hold in? Is he going to hold out? We're all sitting there waiting. And then all of a sudden we come out, we're like, you know what? JJ's the man. He's just going to play right through it. He's just going to keep on going. He just shows up and practices because that's what he is. And then like the next day, oh, he's got a calf injury, despite the fact that he looked to be in awesome condition. But now suddenly he's got the calf injury. And as you said, it's the kind of calf injury that doesn't even make him work it out on the side. That's an interesting kind of calf injury. So I don't know. Call me skeptical when it comes to the injuries and how they're reported, but I kind of wonder about that one.
Yeah, let's go down that rabbit hole for a minute. Let's say he's holding in. We don't know. Maybe this practice today was orchestrated for Jauan and Drew Rosenhaus's agent. Like, you think we're going to buckle to you? Did you hear about why don't you go watch Grant and Larry talk about how great Ricky Pearsall looked today, how he's so explosive. I mean, I think if he could play like that consistently, Jauan would be the number 2, that you would want to give more targets to someone that explosive. I mean, he's faster than Brandon Ayuk. He's a really fast, and he can jump really, he can jump really high. There's a lot of catches where he'll be running over the middle, the pass will be up and behind him, and he'll make one of these spinning pirouette catches. Really nice.
And not only that, you're talking about Pearsall. Pearsall not only is catching him from Purdy, but he also is catching him from Jones, from Mordecai. He's kind of showing that, you know, it doesn't really matter who throws him the football. He's going to go get it. You're right, though. It's like, you know, he's already caught a couple balls in the last couple of days where, you know, there was one across the middle. Was it yesterday or the day before where it was behind him, and that ball, you know, he would not have caught in the past. Now he's going back. He's catching that. So he's an important guy. I mean, he really is. And I think he's going to have a good year, and he's not alone. It's not like, oh, it's Ricky to replace Debo and Ayuk. Demarcus Robinson's here. Russell Gage is here. Jordan Watkins had a really good day today. And there are other guys, but those guys are standing out as well.
What do you think of Robinson in particular?
I think he's going to be their number 1 receiver because I think I'm worried about Ricky's ability to stay healthy. So if Ricky stays healthy, Ricky's the number 1 receiver. But if Ricky doesn't stay healthy, I think Robinson is going to be really good. Now, What I love about Robinson is that he's really good against man coverage, and he's really good in the red zone. He's just really good at freeing himself open with all these little rub routes and pick routes and, these goal line things where guy scored 7 touchdowns last year on a team that had Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. So I think he's going to be Purdy to Robinson is going to be great. I think he can make plays short, intermediate, and I even think he can make plays down the field. I think his average was like 16 or 17 yards per reception. And you saw kind of how early in camp where there was a deep ball downfield and he kind of set up the corner by kind of, hey, I'm coming. It's coming right here. Oh, last second, I'm over here. And that's where the ball was going the whole time. So he has an ability as a veteran to really set up corners.
I'm really surprised by how much I like DeMarcus Robinson. When they signed him, I thought, he's kind of a cast off. He's in his 30s. How good could he be? He's bigger than I thought. He's bigger than Ayuk. He's faster than Jennings. He's a good player. I think he's definitely a nice addition. It's too bad they won't have him for the first couple of weeks, though, which brings me to Jordan Watkins. What do you think of Jordan Watkins?
Well, there was 3 players the Niners drafted that I really, had predicted, or not predicted, but like had projected as great picks for them. One was Nick Martin, one was CJ West, and the other was Jordan Watkins. And I really like Jordan Watkins. Now, I watched a lot of Ole Miss last year, right? Ole Miss was they were the transfer portal darlings. They had everybody, right? And their big star receiver is Trey Harris, who's now on the Chargers, I believe. And Harris went down with an injury. And a lot of people thought, oh, they're cooked. And they had Juice Wells, who's also going to be an NFL draft choice. And yet this guy, Jordan Watkins, was the guy that really stepped up, 9 touchdowns, had a huge day against Arkansas. And you know what? He's not small. I know a lot of people look at him at first like, oh, he's Cowing 2.0. No, he's not. He's a good 30 pounds bigger than Cowing. He's also played and succeeded and starred to some degree in the SEC. I think he's going to be a factor right away. He had a huge catch down the middle the other day, but today I thought he had the catch of the day as well.
I wouldn't be surprised if he becomes a starter one day and the Niners starting receivers are Ricky Pearsall and Jordan Watkins. Now, this would assume that maybe Brandon Ayuk gets traded or something, but I think he's that good. I think he can play X. I think he's very fast. You've seen him catch passes deep down the field, and I think he can give you some gadget stuff as well. I think he can run slants. He's sure-handed. He's like a faster, smaller version of Ricky. They're similar.
I kind of think he's got some of the, he's got a running back build, right? He's 6 feet, 200.
Yeah.
So he's, he kind of looks like the kind of guy that you would think would not be fast, but is fast. Mm-hmm. What I like about him is he adjusts to the ball in the air down the field. And the one thing that we didn't see last year, Niners were 32nd, dead last in wide receiver separation. And Brock likes to throw the ball down the field, and all quarterbacks want separation. You don't want to throw a 50-50 ball in every pass. I think between Robinson and Watkins, Cowing, and some of the speed that they have down the field, I think you're going to see more separation and easier completions from Purdy because of that separation.
One thing I want to bring up before we move on, I love giving out the praise to these wide receivers because they earned it. But we got to remember that Lenore's out, Green's out. The cornerback situation in camp right now is pretty bleak, but it's August 2nd. So we'll see what it looks like when they go up against the Broncos in a few days. Maybe we'll see Ricky Pearsall one-on-one against Patrick Surtain. That would be interesting.
Well, I mean, to me, this is the best corners in the league, right? You've got Riley Moss, Surtain, and now they just had a Jedi Barron, or
right.
Maybe I'm butchering the first name, but Barron from Texas is tremendous. Yeah. I mean, he looks like Brian Branch, but he's a corner. So they're going to roll in. Yeah. I get the feeling, Robert Saleh kind of referenced that, but I really get that vibe heavy today that, it's like they look one way. And if all you're watching is this, you could see one thing, but if you've watched camp a lot, like we have, and that there's other standards and other teams, I just get a feeling that, the Niner receivers may not have success against Barron and Surtain and Moss, and the Niner offensive line may really struggle against Denver's defensive line, and the Niner young defensive linemen, may get worked. Alfred Collins may get worked by some of these the Quinn Miners of the world in Denver. So I think Denver, even Solid kind of referenced it when I mentioned Sebastian Valdez kicking butt on Connor Colby. He's like, he didn't want to say Connor Colby stinks because that's just not professional. But he did say, you know what? Let's see when Denver rolls in here. We'll find out after that what's real and what isn't. And the only inference there could be that, Denver's O-line is a whole lot better than this Niners backup O-line that he's going against. And just pump the brakes on your excitement about Valdez because he's rough days are ahead.
Well, look, if today's practice was any indication, Ricky Pearsall is going to be featured in this offense.
Yeah.
Dig routes, post routes, corner routes, deep crossing routes, screens, slants, end arounds, jet sweeps, all of it. They're going to give him the ball as much as he can physically handle, and they just got to make sure that he stays healthy. Otherwise, they're going to have to find a new plan on offense. Marcus Ralph says, Saturday night Cohn and Krueger, legendary. Thank you. GDad14 says, Mykel Williams has had a bad ankle since college. Collins has weird interviews, and I don't think he loves football. Niners had a great draft, except for picks 1 and 2. Do you agree?
Well, they wouldn't have been my choices, but it doesn't mean that they're going to be bad picks. Okay. The Mykel pick, I wouldn't have been my choice just because it was the 11th pick in the draft. And I probably would have taken Barron. I'm looking at the Niner corners and I kind of knew that they had needed some corners. So I probably would have gone with Barron, to be completely honest. But Mykel Williams is big and strong and talented. And we'll see. I mean, he looks really overpowering at times. He didn't have a lot of production in college. Why? Is that because he didn't play a lot? Is that because of the ankle? Is that because he doesn't like to play with pain? I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what the issue was. I don't know that we're going to get the answer in an interview with him either. So it's just we're just going to have to see how it goes. As far as Collins is big and strong, and he played, I think, in 46 of 48 games. So hopefully he's a guy that just plays no matter what. That's what I'm kind of hoping for. But as a pass rusher, we all need to dial it way back as far as expectations, because this guy's not a pass rusher. This guy's Kinlaw as far as a pass rusher. He's not going to get to the quarterback. He doesn't come off blocks. He's big and strong, and he's going to command doubles, and he's going to clog, hopefully. But he's not been impressive in one-on-one pass rush drills because he really just comes up out of his stance, is neutralized, and then stops driving his legs. And I'm hearing Chris Kosarek, and I'm standing right there watching. Chris was like, keep going. He's like yelling at him like that loud. And it's really, that's what it is. It's like he kind of stops. It's like, no, you got to keep going. You got to keep twisting. You got to keep working to the quarterback. So they're using all this verbiage like, well, he missed the OTAs and he's changing systems. And that's all a bunch of crap. It's really more about this guy's got to work, keep his pass rush going, keep his feet moving. But he can be a very good player, even if he's not a pass rusher.
I mean, he was a 5th-year senior at Texas last year. He had 1 sack in 16 games.
Okay, he's not a pass rusher.
He's not. It's just what it is. He could improve, I guess, a little bit, but he's never had more than 2 sacks in a season ever. What he does is break up passes. Last year, he had 7 pass breakups. So he's 6'5" and he has really long arms, and he gets tied up, and then he starts jumping up and down. There's a role for that, I guess.
Oh, and also he's like he should on paper at the size he's at be able to keep bodies off of Warner, off of Martin, off of Winters. Yeah, I mean, the Niners have I think some really good linebackers. I think the linebackers look good, but they're going to have to be protected with some bigger bodies, and he's that bigger body. So he's going to play in a rotation. They're not going to get a lot of pass rush from him on third downs, pass rushing downs. He will be coming off the field, but if he can do the job on first and second down, that'll be good enough.
Well, look, as you may remember, before the draft, you were heavily advocating for the Niners to draft Shamar Stewart, who doesn't have an ankle injury. So it's going to be interesting to see Mykel Williams versus Shamar Stewart. I think the reason they went with Mykel Williams is because he is younger. He is a better run defender. I mean, they're both good run defenders. It was a tough call. They were very similar prospects. Shamar Stewart was much more athletic because he didn't have a messed up ankle. Every time people, Mike Hill did anything, people were like, well, he could be so much better. He just has a messed up ankle. Just wait. Well, we're still waiting.
He's Mikel. I mean, they both are very similar in a lot of ways. I mean, they both didn't have a lot of sack production. My whole thing is this is a pick based. I mean, let's just, kind of go through this. You have Mikel Williams, you have Shamar Stewart. Neither have great sack production.
Right.
They both played in the SEC for great programs.
Yeah.
Why did they not have sack production? Okay, well, then you got to get into a bunch of reasons. I thought for Shamar, he doesn't finish well. His hand placement's not great. They played him a lot at 4-eye inside, and they also played on a great D-line. Other guys got sacks, but his pressures and his motor were off the charts, and he played really, really hard. Now, Mikel Williams, his numbers were not great either, but I think it had a lot to do with the fact that he didn't play a lot because he played in a deep rotation and other guys played. He played inside a little bit, but then he also had the ankle injury that kept him out. So neither guy had production. I would have gone with Stewart just because Stewart had better. If we're gonna do a draft pick on traits, I'll go with the guy with the better traits. And Stewart had better traits than Mikel.
And a clean medical.
It's a traits-based pick as far as I was concerned. I don't know that I would have gone with either. At the end of the day, as I said, I probably would have gone with Jedi Barron because I think the Niners needed a great player in the secondary, and I think it's clear that they do. So yeah, but I mean, there you go. I mean, there was also a lot of really good players that were after that, right? I mean, you had Walter Nolan and others. So it's just there were a bunch of different rushers. The Niners didn't like the speed guys. Some guys have character issues. They wanted a bigger bodied guy that didn't have character issues. And so they took Mikel.
Unfortunately, they took a bigger body guy who had a medical red flag. And, so did Javon Kinlaw sometimes. And they were like, it's just an ankle. But it affected him at the combine. It affected him at his pro day. It was lingering, and it continues to linger. 49er Fisherman says, my two favorite Niner content creators, Krug. You were pounding the table for West leading up to the draft, and you were right. Need the I hate quarterback t-shirt. He does have I hate. We're going to talk about West.
He's great, man. West is amazing.
Who will be the 5 cornerbacks week 1? Hold on. We're going to talk about that now. And RLB2 ESQ has been a member for 27 months. That's a mouthful. Thank you very much. Okay. Cornerback. Yesterday, Robert Saleh said they're having an all-out competition for that third cornerback spot, meaning not the nickel, but the first guy on the bench who would replace Lenore or Green outside. Who do you think that guy should be or will be?
It's rough. And it's funny. I should be able to answer this very, very definitively because we just watched this, right? We were in the end zone watching, the Niners without Renardo and without Lenore. So I would say Dallas Flowers. I mean, I was saying to you at practice, he came over from Indy with Gus Bradley. Bradley coached him in the secondary there. That right there is a ringing endorsement. But then if you look at Flowers, he's got really good measurables and he's got an NFL body. He's a journeyman. There's no question. He's a journeyman. He's been around the block a little bit. He's not, your first round or second round pick, but he does have a body for the game. He does have long arms, good speed, good strength, some experience. I would say Dallas Flowers to me. I mean, I know Trey Brown maybe is guaranteed $500,000 where Flowers is guaranteed nothing, but that's just contracts. I mean, based on what I've seen, Flowers looks better than Brown.
I do like Dallas. He's interesting because he's 6'1".
Got good speed.
4.43 speed, 6'9", 8'3" Like it's pretty much everything you want physically from a cornerback. He's 28 though, and he was undrafted in 2022. I guess he was an older player coming out of school, and he hasn't played that much football in the NFL. But I mean, still seems like he's one of these projects, like a Jake Brendel type, that the Niners could work out for him. He is interesting. You know who isn't though?
Who's that?
Trey Brown.
Yeah, I mean I just think
I'm out.
There's your baptism by fire. You think
Yeah.
Cortland Sutton, you're going to stop Cortland Sutton and Mims and those guys when Denver rolls in with him. To me, he's not, I like Luter more. Luter's gotten burned even a lot, but I still like Luter more than I like Trey Brown. Trey Brown's just your quintessential journeyman corner.
Yeah. The one guy I like a lot is undrafted rookie Jacob Robinson. He isn't like shut down or anything, but he's breaking up. He's getting targeted a lot, and he's breaking up a lot of passes. He broke up a pass from Mac Jones that was intended for Jordan Watkins on 3rd and 9 today, and that moved the ball period. Watkins ran a curl. Robinson was all over him, broke it up. I don't know if he's as good as Dallas Flowers, but
no, but it's funny. I went with Flowers. You went with Robinson. If we put them on a chart and everybody could see all the options, we just took the two guys that can run.
Yep.
The two fastest guys. Robinson ran 4.36 and had 11 career picks at BYU. So,
how did he not get invited to the combine? I don't understand that. He looks like a good player.
He does. He's
a little small.
He's a little, he'll be better next year, right?
Yeah.
He'll be better next year when he
80-some pounds.
Yeah, when he puts on about 10 pounds. He's a little physically underdeveloped. He's a little underpowered, I bet you, against the run. I bet you he's not going to be a great hitter. But, he runs 4.36. And since you have guys in the league that do run in the 4.3s, it's nice to have corners on your team that can run with them. So
he can match up with Watkins, and Watkins is a good player who was a 4th-round pick. Yeah.
And who runs 4.37. And also, not only that, Jacob Robinson, the book on him was that he was undersized and kind of weak. But there's really nothing, for every play that he's made against the pass, it's not like this guy has shown examples where he's like, he's weak. He really hasn't. He looks strong enough, and he's definitely fast enough with good coverage skills.
Good call. See, Larry was a scout. I appreciate it. All right, let's do some more scouting, Larry. Swing tackle. It's important now because Colton McKivitz, we don't know. He wasn't there today.
Yeah.
Austin Pleasance, Spencer Burford, and the mythical Andre Dillard, who hasn't suited up yet.
It's amazing what practice was this today? 8?
9.
9. It's amazing what 9 practices, how much things can change in 9 practices. Okay, so coming into camp, anybody who's been watching me knows that I was just going crazy in the OTAs for Austin Pleasance. And because he looked amazing. He was big. He was fast. He looked like he'd been working out. He looked like he was going to just be monster. I'm sitting there going, this guy's going to start over Colton McKivitz. And then he showed up to camp, and he still looks like he's in good shape, but he is getting abused. He's getting worked by Bryce Huff, went by him the other day, and he whiffed. He literally he lunged at air, and Bryce just ducked underneath. He is struggling. He got bull rushed today by Sam O. So he can't anchor against bull rushers, even though he's 330. The moment, though, today that really opened my eyes was when the newest Niner, Jalen Allen, who was played in the UFL, who goes at 240 pounds, bull rush Pleasance right into the lap of the quarterback. He's 340. He outweighs this guy by 100 pounds, and he got bull rushed by him 4 yards right into the lap of the quarterback. So Pleasance can't anchor. And then all the speed rushers, and a number of different ones, by the way, are beating him consistently in one-on-one. So Pleasance looked great in the OTAs, and he just looks equally bad. So now I don't know about him. Then you've got Burford, and I'll say it, man, I've seen Burford a bunch, and he had one good rep, and you can see everybody's rooting hard for Burford, and Trent's rooting hard for Burford. But if Burford is going to get Brock Purdy killed, because Burford is not quick enough, he doesn't have quick enough feet to beat offensive tackles. So his timing is either going to have to be absolutely impeccable, or he's going to jump off sides a bunch, or he's going to get left in his stance a bunch and Purdy's going to get killed. Either way, he doesn't look like he's an offensive tackle.
Which is why they moved him to guard in the first place.
Right. He just doesn't. I mean, he's at tackle. We're told he's a tackle, but he's not. I'm telling you, my eyes tell me he's not fast enough to play tackle. I think he gets absolute baptism by fire against Denver. And then the third guy is probably the best guy, right? That's Andre Dillard, former first-round pick. He was in Green Bay. I thought he was better in Green Bay than he was in Philly. Where is he? I have no idea. I've never seen him. He's not here. I don't see him on the side field. So, yeah, I think, I thought they were covered, with 3 really good prospects. Now I'm concerned that they don't have any on their roster.
This is why I'm concerned about the Niners, big picture. I know we're talking swing tackle, which is about as minute as it gets, but let's just zoom out very far. I feel like Andre Dillard is going to have to play some games this year, and that's not great because it's not going to be Burford. It's not going to be Pleasance as the next man up swing tackle when Trent Williams misses 2 games or however he misses. Or McKivitz. I think Dillard's going to have to play. Not great. I think Dallas Flowers is going to have to play some games.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll be good, but not like they are.
They're thin.
Their depth is thin, and they're going to have some players on the field that are not really up to their standard at certain points.
Well, all I would say,
Russell Gage,
if I'm John Lynch, and I'm not telling John anything he doesn't know, but I would just remind everybody that this is a factor this year. If I was John Lynch, I would really take some of my college scouts that I would take some of my personnel in college. Only have so much manpower, but I would try to double down with all my personnel effort on the pro side to get a real good look at every team in the NFL so that you absolutely know at the cut down who the best players that are available are so that you can add them, because I think it's really going to be imperative that the Niners, at the shuffle, at the cut down, probably find themselves a player or 2 or 3 at some key positions, and there'll be competition for these guys. So they better do a really good job. I thought they did. I'll say this about Lynch and the guys. They did a really good job in the college effort. The draft is a very deep draft. The 49ers have 18 rookies in camp. Of the 18, like 16 or 17, I mean, a lot of them look really, really good. I think the rookie class looks good to me, but you're still thin. You got a lot of young players, and you're going to have to handicap that the rest of the pro personnel at the cut down and find the best players that get cut, because good players get cut in the NFL all the time. Find them and add them. And I think that's going to be a significant part of this year.
John Lynch said that they're going to be taking their lumps early in the season.
Yeah.
Because of the young players. And maybe, although some of these young players are really impressive and might be pretty good early on, I think it's possible they could be taking lumps because of some of the veterans they signed who are supposed to be camp bodies or backups who may find themselves on the field. Andre Dillard, Dallas Flowers, Trey Brown, Richie Grant, Jason Pinnock, Ben Barsh, Luke Farrell, Greg Joseph, Thomas Morstead. Like, these guys are going to play. These guys are going to play this year, and we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Niner D-line, I think, you're going to see some good things from West. I think you're going to see some good things from Collins, some good things from Williams. The question I would have is how many snaps can they play?
Yeah.
What happens if they just get apps? I mean, Williams has not been asked to play that much. What happens if you get into a fourth quarter knockdown, drag out battle week 1 against Seattle and you need a couple of stops and you're leaning on guys who haven't played NFL football and they're playing deep into the fourth quarter? I mean, this is a huge challenge this preseason. They got to play their young guys enough to get them in shape to play week 1, but also not get them hurt in the first 3 weeks so you don't have them. So it's gonna be, they have to develop this roster a little bit this summer, and we're gonna find out if they can. ESPN Grant just said the Niners are the 3rd best coaching staff behind KC in Minnesota. They're gonna have to do some real coaching this year because there's so many young players.
Yeah. Well, look, with Michael in particular, I guess let's just get into it. Who do you think is the best rookie on the team right now? To me, I know it's like you can't really tell sometimes because it's not really live, and there's a lot of fluff, and like you don't hit your teammates. It's hard to tell.
You tag off on guys.
Yeah.
But I'll say Nick Martin.
Yeah.
I watch on the binoculars, and Nick Martin and D Winters are showing up at the football
Yeah.
between the tackles a lot. And let's just say this, until I watched a few practices without the binoculars, and I wasn't noticing Nick Martin. He's kind of shorter. He's kind of in the scrum, and you just kind of don't notice because everybody's tagging. But this guy is working hard to the football. He's smart. I like Nick Martin a lot.
That's a good call. I think I like CJ West. And maybe I just was lazy in my analysis of West because they called him DJ Jones. I saw his body type. I'm thinking, hey, man, that's a great nose tackle. That is a great day 3 pick. But I'm watching him in practice. I'm like, no, that is a 3-down player. You could play him at nose tackle, but you could probably play him at 3 technique also. And he seems like the kind of guy you're going to want on the field as much as possible, the kind of guy who might have a double-digit sack season at some point. I didn't expect that. And I don't think that's what Collins is ever going to become. And that's okay. He was a 2nd-round pick who's supposed to eat space in a wide 9. This guy is exceeding expectations, at least mine. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, he's really powerful. Now, as far as pass rush, I don't know. I'm not sure what to expect. You're still talking about 6'1", 320. There aren't a lot of, but I mean, I love him. I mean, he's really, really tough. He's a great player against the run, but we'll see. I mean, that's why, I'll say this. My third favorite rookie, I mean, I would say Nick Martin, CJ West would have been, that's what I was debating between. My third favorite rookie is the undrafted Sebastian Valdez. I mean, this guy looks phenomenal. And if he was like 260 or something, or 270 or 285 or one of these, like, he's undersized, really, really undersized, I would have been like, you know what? No, because I was Kevin Givens when he came into the league. He was like 280. This guy's 300 pounds, and he's beating people with speed at times, with power. Now, I don't know. The Niners, it might just be Connor Colby's really bad as a pass protector, because it's Connor Colby losing a lot of these reps. But Sebastian Valdez is really strong, really fast. I mean, go back and watch the YouTube breakdown that you did. Go watch the YouTube breakdown that I did after the draft on this guy. This guy's got some really good traits, and he has carried that over to OTAs and then carried that over into training camp. He's winning some of his reps in impressive fashion. And we're talking about Collins is not a pass rusher, and he's not, but Valdez is. So, it will be interesting to see how Valdez is utilized this in this preseason.
He looks like he's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
He ran a sub 5-second 40-yard dash. He's like 300 pounds with like 8% body fat.
Strong, like the strongest bench of anybody at the combine. And so he wins. If he wants to bull rush you, he's one of the strongest guys.
Yep.
And then what I'm noticing, he works edges.
Yeah.
And then he gets separation with like his initial pop. I've seen him also like pop and get like some separation and then hit an edge. So he's something, man. He's something.
When they took him, I'm like, okay, I just don't see how he fits this wide 9 defense. But what I want to say, and I kind of want to bury it in here, because, we're not really supposed to talk about scheme. So I'm going to say it in like a generic way, but in practice today, they were definitely practicing a 5-man front frequently. 3D tackles, 2D ends. And I'm like, yes, thank you, man. This wide 9 thing is so played out against certain teams that don't run the ball well and have a stationary quarterback, by all means. But teams that run the zone read and are running it down your throats, like, why are you in the wide 9? So they actually have another front they're working on. And it's like, okay, well, if you have 3D tackles on the field, then Valdez could absolutely be one of them. West could be one of them. Collins could be one of them. Just saying. So there is a fit for him on this team.
Well, that's what I love about having Saleh and Gus Bradley. You have two really long, successful head coach, defensive coaches, defensive coordinators, and guys who have head coaching experience. And they're not going to, it's not like they're going to come out and be like, oh, we don't know what adjustments to make. I got the feeling with Sorensen last year that, I mean, once he started going to, hey man, it was just a communication breakdown. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my God, so that is our answer for every defensive malady in the second half of the year. It's just a defensive breakdown. our communication breakdowns. So these guys, I think, are going to have more answers. And I'll say this: I think the team's going to be a smarter defensive team.
I agree. El Cortez 3611 says fire the strength and conditioning coach ASAP. Is that fair?
No,
I don't think that's
all those
fair.
guys do is, that guy's a guy who's in shape himself and super maniacal and organized, and he's supposed to be motivator and this and that. But these guys are, if you need your strength and conditioning coach to motivate guys making millions, you're looking at it the wrong way.
And like firing your whole strength and conditioning staff halfway through training camp would seem to be like an overreaction and probably wouldn't make things better. Updated predictions for this year.
Double-digit wins. I think
gotta be
double-digit wins. I would say this team, if this team does not win 10 games, Jed should be mad.
Oh, yeah.
Jed should be mad.
Yeah, but I predicted 7 and 10, and that could happen. They're just like, this team is just 2 or 3 injuries away at key spots from being bad. But if they're healthy, they could be really, really good. I don't know what to think of them, man. When they have Dallas Flowers and Trey Brown starting for them, like, I can't take this seriously.
Well, look at it this way. I mean, I look at it this way. If you have a lot of good things going on, but man, you don't have the right head coach, he's not very good, and you don't have a very good quarterback, and he's not very good, you could have a good team and go and win 7 games. But I kind of think if you do have a head coach that's a good head coach with a good scheme, what is good on whatever side of the ball his specialty is on, and you have a quarterback that's playing good football, that's a decent player, I think you can have some weaknesses on your team and still win games if you have a schedule like the Niners. So I think the Niners are a flawed team, but I do think there's a lot of good young players on this team. I think it's gonna be a kind of a transition year, but I think they're gonna lose a couple games they shouldn't, but I still think 10 and 7 is very realistic.
Kyle and Lynch are allergic to good O linemen. Ben Barch is bigger than I remember. He could be. What do you think of Ben Barch?
Well, I mean, I love talking to him. He's a guy's a character. He's been really good when he's healthy. It's a question is just, can he stay healthy? He's big, he's powerful, he's smart, he's aggressive, he's good against the run, but he's got good footwork as a pass protector. I don't even think it's that much of a downgrade from Banks if Barch can stay healthy, but it's a big if. And then Zakelj got more reps today at third string center, and so I would say Zakelj is definitely going to make this team as a backup.
Tyga Style says, you guys are my 2 favorite Niner content creators. Stream has to be weekly. Well, this is extenuating circumstance. We're both working our asses off down in Santa Clara. Anyway, since chances of CJ West being the next late round star, there's a chance. Today wasn't his best day. He seemed tired to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's just, first of all, his personality is awesome, but this guy just loves to play. I mean, the phrase I would use, someone said, give me a phrase to describe him: plug and play. You're going to plug him in day one. He's going to play. He's going to start. He's going to be a leader. He's going to be a foundation piece. He's going to be a Niner for years to come.
He's going to be in the backfield.
He's a penetrator. He's very strong, natural strength. Yeah, I think he's a keeper, as they say.
He's a keeper. Harold McCouch says, how does Marquise Siegel look? He's a little smaller than I would expect a safety to be, but he's explosive, and it seems like he's going to be a hitter. I'm excited to see him in the preseason.
Well, what I love is that, at first, he's 4.37 speed, and he's a converted corner. So always when you hear that, you're like, oh, he's a safety, and he's a converted corner. He's got 4.37 speed. Is he soft? Does he not like to hit? And this guy loves to hit. This guy loves to be violent. So that's a good combination, man. I mean, 4.37 speed, good cornerback covered, man-to-man coverage skills, and the ability and the desire to be violent. I think he's going to be really good. I like him a lot.
Okay.
He might start. The plan, I'm sure, eventually is to have Malik Mustafa and Siegel. If everybody's healthy and everybody's fully operational, I think it's Malik Mustafa and Siegel.
Yeah, I could see that. I'm curious to see I don't know what to make of Jason Pinnock yet. He's had some moments. He's picked off Brock Purdy a couple of times, but he's played a lot of football. He hasn't been great.
He's a great addition, though, I think, because
Yeah.
he's really he's another guy who's he's like a Jimmy Ward. He's not quite as physically he doesn't not Jimmy Ward really did hit like a linebacker. I mean, Jimmy Ward hit with such thump. No, he's not quite as the hitter that Jimmy Ward was, but this guy's a really good player. He's going to be great as a blitzer at the line of scrimmage. He's going to give you the ability to disguise coverages because he's so smart. He's smart. He's competitive. He knows this system. I think he's going to be invaluable in the first month of the year, to be honest.
Joseph Real says, dude, the way you expressed Trey Lance's situation is as close to absolute truth as can be. Thank you. The Harbaugh culture is in such contrast to Kyle's. Without Salah's point of view, there's no self-awareness to challenge Kyle. All right, that's a pretty good segue into Trey Lance. What did you think of Trey Lance's preseason performance with the Chargers?
I mean, Trey Lance, I said it when it ended for the Niners. A lot of people were just like, see, Trey Lance is a bust. Trey Lance is a bust. And I just refuse to go there because I don't believe that. I believe that Trey Lance is eventually going to get it and figure it out. He had a terrible introduction from high school to the pros. I mean, he played at FCS school. They ran all the time. He was totally dominant. He didn't learn how to do anything. And so he's still very raw. And there's no minor league system for him to play. But I love the fact that he's with Harbaugh because Harbaugh will take what he does well. He'll appreciate Trey. Obviously, Herbert, he's not going to beat out Herbert. He's never going to beat out Herbert. Herbert is always going to beat him out. But if Herbert gets hurt and Trey stays there long enough, I could see Harbaugh with with the best tackle tandem in football, one of the most powerful, dominant offensive lines in football. They have that right now. That Charger line's a really good line. With Amarion Hampton and Najee Harris, I could see a run-heavy scheme where they dominate the line of scrimmage and are a really good football team. I think they're going to be good on special teams. They're going to be pretty good on defense. I like the Niners. My Super Bowl prediction is wish. It's more of a wish. Is Niners Chargers rematch in the Super Bowl? Rematch of Super Bowl 29.
That would be so cool.
With Harbaugh against Shanahan, with Brock Purdy, and in my dream here, Herbert goes down, and it's Trey Lance against Purdy, cool. Harbaugh against Shanahan, with Jed in Jed's house for the right to say whose house it really is. I think that would be awesome. It would be amazing. That's what I'm rooting for. But no, back to Trey. I think Trey can get it done. I think he's not a runner. He's not the most accurate passer. He doesn't have the greatest arm strength, but he's got great heart. He's smart. He can run the offense. He's athletic. He can take hits. They're going to figure out what he can and can't do. They're going to do more of what he can do. They're going to do less of what he can't do. I think he's going to find a home there with the Chargers. And my prediction is he salvages his career and becomes an NFL starter under Jim Harbaugh.
I think it's such a great fit with Greg Roman right now. I mean, I'm not the biggest Greg Roman fan. We've seen him for a long time, and he kind of wears out his welcome places and has to go to the next place. But
RPO
I mean, like Lamar outgrew him. Quarterbacks outgrow him if you're good, but he's good for quarterbacks who are young, who've been trying to do too much. Because basically what he's going to do is say, let's simplify stuff. Let's simplify the reads. Let's cut the field in half. Let's minimize mistakes because you keep messing up. And I think that's a powerful place for quarterbacks to sort of restart and get their confidence back. And like first pass of the game, rolling right, 5 yards. It's like, yeah, perfect. Cut the field in half, high-low read, on the run, get him confident. Love that for him. So I think Greg Roman, give him some props. It's great fit for Trey Lance. I don't think that Mac Jones would be as good of a fit for Jim Harbaugh. He can handle more. And so I think he's a better fit for Kyle. Like Kyle should have had some self-awareness and never, ever, 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 ever drafted Trey Lance. He's a project who needs psychological handholding in a lot of ways, like actual coaching. You don't do that. You give someone like Mac a system, and if you give Mac a system, he can execute it, as we see. Or Brock.
No, I mean, I'm glad you brought up Mac because, yeah, I mean, in a lot of ways, it's the old Rolling Stones song. You can't always get what you want, but if you try, sometimes you find you get what you need. You know what? That's Harbaugh. Trey Lance needed Jim Harbaugh, and Mac Jones I think needed Brock and Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy is like kind of the template that Mac Jones needs to study. Mac Jones probably isn't the hardest working guy. He sounds like he's kind of funny, and he's kind of. I mean, Pearsall called him hilarious. He does seem kind of funny. He obviously is pretty smart. He's maybe a little quirky, but you know what? I have a feeling Mac Jones is going to be wildly successful in this offense. I mean, he's playing right now with receiving core that's either new or kind of in shambles, guys coming and going, behind a line that's, some days has Trent, some days doesn't, didn't have McKivitz today. It's not considered a great line. And he's looking very comfortable. And so either the Niner defense is really bad or Mac Jones is getting comfortable in the offense and playing with efficiency and in accuracy. And he looks good. I mean, I'm trying not to get excited about it, but Mac Jones looks good. He really does.
I want to come back to Trey for a second. So obviously he's never going to beat out Justin Herbert. No. But I wonder what Harbaugh's actual vision is for Herbert, because Herbert's too good for Greg Roman. You know what I mean? If you have an offensive coordinator like Greg Roman, why do you have Justin Herbert? Greg Roman's all about, hey, don't throw interceptions. What? This is Justin Herbert.
It's like putting Dan Marino with Bo Schembechler.
Exactly. So it doesn't make any sense. And unless Jim Harbaugh changes his philosophy, does he secretly do you secretly want to trade Justin Herbert and get that contract off the books and have a Trey Lance style quarterback who's cheap and a game manager and it just runs I wonder, because the way they used Justin Herbert last year basically didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. They turned him into Alex Smith. Why? What is that?
It is interesting. What if it's the reverse? What if Harbaugh goes, instead of from the game manager to the guy with unbelievable arm strength and foot speed? What if he goes the reverse and he goes, man, we goes from Herbert, the guy with this, prototypical size and strength and all this, maybe the best thrower of the football in the game, and then goes to a game manager like Trey and wins. But I do think if the Chargers are building a bully, they're building it at the line of scrimmage. They're building it on special teams. They're building it on defense. They just destroyed Detroit. Now, granted, it was the Hall of Fame game. It doesn't matter. But I think Detroit's going to have a rough year. I think the Chargers are going to have a big year. I think the Chargers are coming. And they might build the kind of team. Who knows? Maybe, they may build the kind of team that can win even with kind of a 3 yards in a cloud of dust quarterback. So who knows? Maybe you may see, Lance kind of resurface there in some capacity. I definitely think he's going to play his best ball right now. I do. I
love that Lance and Jim Harbaugh are teamed up. And I love that Jim Harbaugh is kind of putting pressure on the Niners. Like you said, the Niners have to win 10 games this year. If they win 8 or 9 and Harbaugh wins 11 or 12, that just doesn't look good for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, I don't know. I
mean, the goal number 1 for the Niners is win the Super Bowl at Levi's. Goal number 2 is don't have Jim Harbaugh with Trey Lance at quarterback win the Super Bowl at Levi's. You want to dial up heat on this regime? Have Jim Harbaugh with Trey Lance win the Super Bowl at Levi's. It's officially hot.
If they traded Justin Herbert, how many first-round picks could they get? 4?
3, 4, yeah. Lots.
Yeah. I'm just
Lots. Saying. I mean, people are dying for quarterbacks. I mean, if yes, a lot.
They're paying him
a whole lot of money. The Rams. Can you imagine McVay? He's sitting right there in LA. If I was Les Snead, I'd be like, how many picks you want? Ortiz and that's the guy's name, and Harbaugh. How many picks you want for Herbert?
Yeah,
Harbaugh would never do that.
You pay him a lot of money for 3,800 yards and 23 touchdowns. I'm just saying, if that's your system, do you have to spend $53 million a year for? And when you get to the playoffs, what did he do? He's my dynasty quarterback, though. I'm rooting for him. I feel like he's got a bright future, Herbert, but he did mess it up. He was as bad as Goff or Darnold, right?
Well, Darnold, I thought Darnold's going to Darnold at some point.
Darnold was kind of special in her Darnoldness.
I think Darnold. In fact, I did a podcast the other day. I said yes to somebody's podcast, and Kev's like, Dad, there was like 47 views. So I did some Seattle podcast with a bunch of guys, and they're like, convinced that Darnold's going to be great. And I was telling them, I think Seattle's going to start the year with Darnold. By the end of the year, I think it's going to be Jalen Milroe. I really do. I think this is going to be a transition year, and Darnold's going to wind up not working out, and maybe going to the Raiders.
He played well last year. He had Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, plus. Now he's got Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba. That's a big come down.
He does have a new offensive coordinator too. They also do. I'll say this about Seattle: don't sleep on. They drafted the Miami tight end Elijah Arroyo, and he is a receiver, big time.
Interesting. They haven't had a tight end that mattered in such a long time. Yeah, this is random, but Cohn, you say you're not a Niner fan, so who's your favorite team? Leeds United. Big soccer guy. I like Leeds. Good question. Niners Fisherman says, agreed, fellas. West and Martin are my top 2 rookies as well. With West, after I watched his press conference, it was what he is. It is what he has between his ears. Another guy. My prediction: everyone's favorite rookie after the Broncos game is going to be Upton Stout. I think he's going to hit someone really hard, and it's going to be fun to watch a 5'8" DB throw his body around like that. That's my prediction.
My prediction is that everybody's favorite rookie after that game is going to be Corey Kiner. Dude, Corey Kiner is so fun to watch, and in camp, you can't really read the running backs because it's just like there's nowhere to run. It's just everybody knows everybody else's plays. Watch Corey Kiner. He was Mr. Football in the state of Ohio coming out of high school. Went to LSU, transferred to Cincinnati, became one of Cincinnati's 4 or 5 best rushers in the history of that program. Niners got him as an undrafted guy. He's 5'10", 210, mediocre speed, but he's just got unbelievable heart, tremendous leg drive. He has jump cuts that are 3.5 feet. Wait until the game starts. We're going to be talking Corey Kiner.
Love that. Lamont 757. His agent should throw you something. Just saying. You do more to pump up these undrafted free agents than anyone. I
seriously.
I'm just saying. Mason Pline. Where you at, Mason?
Mason Pline has struggled in this camp in the last few days to catch the ball. And you know who's really had a good camp at tight end is Braden Willis. So if that continues into the games, then Braden Willis is going to be that 3rd tight end.
If Trey makes it, Kyle Shanahan should be fired. What a waste, says Lamont. Then he says, no one talks about our new OC. Is he okay or just for show? The second one. He's not here to call plays. He was here last year. I don't know. You think he's doing different? Didn't they say his job is the same?
Well, was he give a new title? Is that what it is? Or it's still Kyle calling the plays?
Kubiak.
Right? Is it Kyle calling the plays? Yeah, it's Kyle.
Yeah, it's Kyle calling the plays. You guys are the best, says William Sprague. And then Harold McAllister says, what would Kyle's response be if you, dude, how did you know I was going to ask that? Larry, I'm going to ask this question, but I'm nervous. On Monday, I'm going to say, I'm trying to, in a very nice, polite way, Kyle, did you watch Trey? What'd you think? Not to troll him, but I think it's a fair question. Did you watch it? What'd you think? He's not going to like it, Larry.
He's not going to like it.
But it's a fair question.
Everybody in the room's going to be like,
why? So I'm going to wait till the end because then it's going to be like everyone's going to be mad at me and shit. But I want to ask that question because he's not going to answer it gracefully. He's going to mess it up. You know he will.
Will he be mad at you? No, he won't be mad.
He's going to say,
he's be like, I'm too busy to watch my own team.
He's going to say he didn't watch it, but then he's going to say it in a way like, I hate you for asking me that question, Grant. I'm going to be like, well, sorry. I think we're past that point. Anyway.
The better question might be, do you think Trey you should just state, instead of saying, hey, what'd you think of it? So you should say, Trey played well the other night. What do you think of his chances of salvaging his career?
Ooh,
something like that. Because then he's got to be on the record as like, I think he's got a great shot. I don't know. It's one of those things. It's like there's questions I want to ask.
How happy did it make you to see Trey play that well? I mean, I know you're rooting for the kid, right? So how happy? Did you text him afterwards? Did you say congratulations?
Yeah. Did you text him? That would be a great one.
Have you talked to Trey recently? Yeah. You guys are documented great friends off the field.
Trey
love him.
admires tons. Purdy. It's amazing all these guys.
And they're going to play him. The third preseason game against the Chargers, man.
It's going to be great.
Something is afoot this year. I think the football gods have something in store for us. Jimmy Garoppolo could play against the Niners. Trey Lance will play against the Niners. Too good. It's going
to be incredible. Incredible
Last
year.
one, then we're out of here. Lamont says, who Niners play in practice? What team? Broncos coming up. They got one joint practice with the Broncos on Thursday, and then one joint practice with the Raiders the following Thursday. So stay tuned.
I think that, I would say that, and it's the Thursday against the Broncos is August 7th. That's Dwight Clark Day. So there'll be a lot of people out there. That day is going to be the day. If you can get, tickets to see that practice, you want Thursday Niners Broncos, because man, it's going to be on. It's going to be on because teams like to show out. Teams like to strut. Teams like to brawl. Teams like to set the tone.
It's also going to be Dwight Clark Day. August 7th, 88-7. They always do a little something special for that. So definitely go for that. Lamont says, why you think Kyle Shanahan didn't want Zach with Brock Jr.? Who's Zach?
Is he talking about Zach Wilson?
Maybe he did want Zach. I don't know.
I think he definitely wanted him in the draft. I think he wanted him in the draft. Yeah. Where's Zach Wilson? He's in Miami behind Tua?
Miami.
Okay.
I think Mike might be. Look, Zach Wilson. I don't want to say he sucks because we thought Darnold sucked. I don't know about Zach Wilson, but I feel like he's had no success in the NFL, whereas Mac has had some success in the NFL.
Here's the question. You want to know the question? This would be a great thing to bet on. If you had to bet today on one quarterback from the 2021 NFL draft class to ever win a Super Bowl, who would you bet on? Ever win a Super Bowl. That means they don't have to do it today. How much do you believe in Trey Lance? How much of a bounce back do you think Mac Jones can have?
It won't be Justin Fields.
Could it be Mac Jones here? Could the Niners build themselves up?
Mac Jones here. Yes. The only problem is that Kyle Shanahan would need to stop choking with the lead in the second half of Super Bowls. Not Mac Jones' fault. But yeah, it could be. You could argue that if Mac Jones had been the quarterback instead of Jimmy Garoppolo in 2021, that they win when he was a rookie.
It's not going to be Trevor Lawrence.
No, not in Jacksonville.
So what are the others? Zach Wilson, probably not.
It's not going to be Justin Fields. So it's either going to be Mac Jones or Trey Lance.
It's Mac Jones or Trey Lance. I'll bet Mac Jones. I wouldn't have bet Mac Jones before, but after listening to, because a lot of those times you don't know, there's so many people that had such an agenda. Everybody has an agenda. That's why I always have to filter everybody that I listen to. And it wasn't until the other day when Kubiak, who really has no agenda, and he's just like an old football guy, and he was like, yeah, this guy's really smart, smart. And the way he breaks down, the way he watches film, and it was like, okay, because Mac doesn't sound smart, you know what I mean? So, like Tom Brady sounds smart, some people sound smart. Mac Jones sounds country bumpkin. He doesn't sound smart, but you know what? He is smart.
Yeah, he's very smart. I get the feeling he's extremely smart.
Yeah.
Especially like football smart. Like the processing stuff, I think he processes like Brock very quickly. Yeah.
And I think being around Brock and being in this system with all these good weapons, if Mac Jones gets on the field, there's a chance he could have the ultimate success. So I'm going to say, even though it's crazy, can't believe I'm saying it, I'm going to say Mac Jones I could see at some point winning a Super Bowl. But I could also see Trey Lance. I could see if the Chargers get totally dominant in this big, awesome defense run game powerhouse, and Herbert got hurt in week 16 and Trey got in there, and I could see them riding, Trey Lance, Super Bowl champion. I could see it.
Yeah. I mean, Jim Harbaugh went to the NFC Championship game with Alex Smith and would have won if they didn't turn the ball over on special teams twice. And Alex Smith was not a overwhelmingly great quarterback.
No.
So
kind of like a Trey Lance in some ways.
Kind of like a Trey Lance. Yeah. I think the best comp for Trey Lance is Alex Smith, Sam Darnold. There's a lot in common with those guys. We'll see. I mean, Sam Darnold's a little bit of a disaster sometimes, and he just got paid a lot. I don't know if Trey Lance is a disaster like that. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who to comp him to, But I think he's in a great spot. I mean, I'm really happy that Trey found, because let's be honest. I mean, he wanted the Niners he wanted to be the guy for the Niners as much as the Niners wanted him to be the guy. It didn't happen. He gets moved to Dallas. Suddenly, it's like you're behind Dak and Cooper Rush, and you got the circus of Jerry and his idiot kid. And then it's like, can you surf that to like a real football organization? And not only did he find a real football organization, he found the perfect spot where Herbert's there. He can just develop, let Harbaugh bang him on the shoulder pads and just develop and hang out as they build that run dominant offense, which is perfect for him.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll look, I'm so glad that we get 2 more preseason games to see it. It's one of the most unique stories in sports history. And it was the Niners story, and it's still got legs. So see what happens.
It will be, if we get this Super Bowl, market official, there will be a 30 for 30 on Harbaugh, Trey Lance, Shanahan, the Niners. There will be if we get Shanahan, Harbaugh in the Super Bowl, there will be a 30 for 30 on this.
I agree, and obviously the chances are low that it would be Trey in the Super Bowl, but the chances that the Niners and Chargers could meet in the Super Bowl this year are like actually more significant than I thought. That could happen.
Oh, it definitely could happen. It's a long
and if
shot.
God does exist, we don't know. And he's a football fan, and he's pulling strings. He might want to set this up. I mean, because who wouldn't want to watch this?
And you know what would be the best thing? Niners win, and Harbaugh, the same way he opened Levi's, he closes Levi's, complaining about turf. The turf got him, and it's like, Harbaugh always has complained about the turf in this stadium.
All right, guys. Larry, thank you very much. I'm going to see you tomorrow. We got position coaches, so stay tuned.
What time's that? I didn't know that.
10.
10 tomorrow.
No, Chris Kasarik, Chris Forrester, Clay Kubiak. No, not him. Gus Bradley. All the big guys.
Position coaches. All right, I'm there.
Coaches.
I'm there.
10 o'clock. You thought we had a day off?
Dude, I thought we had a day off. No.